Hi, we're back. Well, we're not really back. I'm back. I lost internet right at the beginning of my little peekathon, I guess you could call it. A little sneak peek into my own personal painting practice and a creativity session with myself. The internet just completely went away. So I did what I could to try and bring it back, but it really didn't want to come back. So I'm just going to carry on, and I'm filming this, and tomorrow I'll go somewhere and use the internet to upload this into the group. So actually I've also made a nice hot cup of tea in between losing internet and starting the filming, and got a nice warm cozy shawl. It's getting chilly again. And this creativity session that I'm about to experience along with you is, I can't say it's really typical because there's no typical creativity session. It's all based on an individual and their needs or wants or their heart's desire or their soul's desire. And I do work one-on-one with people. I also work in a small group up to 3 online at the moment. Everything is online until things get better, and they are getting better. But I can be contacted. Also group on Zoom, and we can get together. It's nice to connect with friends. You can always have people over that are in your family or friends bubble and share a screen, call on friends from far away. You can get together, friends from all over the world can get together and have a paint party, and we'll do a really fun creativity session and just enjoy our connection and creativity. But tonight, it's going to be a little deeper. Tonight, we're going to dip into that well of woo-woo juice. So be prepared. I actually am going to take something to the canvas that was inspired by Soul Scribbles last week and the week before. I don't know if anybody watched my Heart to Heart on Sunday past, which was February 21st. But I brought out a soul scribble that I had done, one of many actually lately, with whales in it. But this one in particular had 5 whales, and that had never happened. So it's just been whales everywhere the last 2 or 3 weeks. And then when 5 showed up, I decided to dig a little farther into it. And I talked about that on the Heart to Heart on Sunday, and about what the meaning of 5 is symbolically. It is the number of balance, and it means that you have to keep balance between material and spiritual aspects in your life. It is also spiritually a symbol of individualism, courage, and important life lessons that you have learned through your own experience. Tarot says that 5 is noted for independence, versatility, rebellion, and a daring nature. And whales are associated with compassion and solitude and knowledge of both life and death. They're also associated with unbridled creativity. The exhalation through their blowhole symbolizes the freeing of one's own creative energy. And that came from purespirit.com. So if you're starting to do soul scribbles along with me, or if you'd like to do a soul scribble with me, we can get together for a clarity section. We'll do a soul scribble, and then we'll talk about the meaning behind it. So when 5 whales came up, I gave it some thought. I lived with this for a couple of days and thought about how I've always been seeking balance. Balance seems to be the one thing that doesn't quite show itself easily in my life. I tend to go whole hog on something and leave something else out. I'm either very right-brained day to day or left. trying to find that balance between the two, I guess, is really what I'm seeking. And proof is right there. And right now, I think what's leading me to go to the canvas, the question I asked my soul during all these scribbles that keep coming up whales, was a question for the universe. I was looking for direction for my next expansion, spiritual expansion, I guess you could call, or personal growth. Like with everything, life is just full of contractions and expansions. Every time we grow, it's followed by a contraction. So we expand with growth, and then we contract, then we expand, and we contract, very much like our lungs, our heart, the oceans, the ebb and the flow. So every time if you look back on your life, every time you've experienced a large time of growth or personal difficulty that changed your life, there's a time afterwards where you sort of contract and you just sort of sit in the newness of everything. And then you expand again. Well, I found myself in one of these contractions recently, and I'm ready to expand, but I'm going to expand greater than I've ever expanded before. And I want it to be with intention and direction. And the direction I want it to take is the correct direction that will take me down the path to my life's dreams. It's time for me to start living my dreams. So I was really looking for direction. What can I do to expand with intention and direction so that I could follow my dreams and become completely self-fulfilled? And my dream is to be able to do this type of work full-time and sustain myself. I would like to bring this message out to people, help people raise their vibration, their personal vibration, the frequency, and become more self-aware and go forth in their life transformed, happy, changed, with a new creative practice. I found that creativity itself, and painting in particular, is a great way to become self-aware. Everything that you have inside of here, your infinite self, your creative being, once you release that, you tap into it, unleash it and release it onto a canvas, you can really, quite literally, see what's going on inside of you. You can find direction, you can find healing. I think healing and transformation are the two biggest contributors to your self-awareness. And that all leads to greater peace and tranquility and a better way to even just get through your day-to-day life with more creativity. You can solve problems, you can look at life's bumps in a different way, change your perspective. And it's just fascinating. It really is like magic. And the greatest thing is that it's fun and it's simple and anyone can do it. You don't have to be a Leonardo da Vinci or a Robert Bateman. You just unleash all of that pent up creative juice and let it flow. And good things come back. So, along with doing this sort of thing and doing some really fun paint nights and creative sessions, just for social connection and a little bit of joy and self-awareness, of course, comes along with that, I produce my own art. And the second part of all of this is to be able to start selling my own art and be recognized as an artist in my own right. So those are the two areas that I would like to see expansion in. And apparently I need to work on my balance. And it just sounds very yummy to me. So here we go. I'm going to invite you over to my canvas. I've already started a little something I don't think you'll be able to see it, or you might be able to see some of it. I'm just going to stand up and move you right along. Oh, and there's another whale that came into my life recently. I didn't expect it. Okay. Let me just see if I can bring you up closer. I'm not going to edit this because really this is what would have happened had I been able to stay on live with you all. On morning, I'm bringing you closer to the canvas so you can get up close and personal with me. And there we go. Okay, well that should just about do it. I like to stand when I'm working. It's not really an artistic thing, it's just a back thing. So hopefully, I don't know, you can see the circles that I've started working. Normally what I would do with someone, or even with myself, is first I'll take a few minutes to meditate and connect with whatever energy I feel I need to. And that just gives me a chance to relax and engage the right hemisphere of my brain. And then I'll just start writing on the canvas. Anything that comes to mind, phrases, words, even shapes that come to mind, anything that I might have experienced during the meditation. And of course, I've already had my meditation today, thinking about this painting. And over again, the number 5 kept coming up. And I don't know if you can see that, but I've decided to use a pattern from Sacred Geometry, which I found very applicable for myself. I've always had a soft spot for math. Believe it or not, math and art. They do go hand in hand. You may not think so, but they do. And so I have 5 circles, which will be spheres. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've penciled them out to make sure that they fit on the canvas. I usually work with a much larger canvas, but just for the sake of time, I have a 16 by 20 canvas, and I've put some paint on my glass palette. We have white, yellow, it's a green, and 2 shades of blue, deep violet, and black. And I like to outline anything on my canvas in the first layer with something dark, something easy to see, and then I'll add some color. So I've decided to start out with deep violet, and hopefully you'll see this as it appears. Now this is by no means the finished layer of the painting. Some of this certainly will come through, but this is just the foundation, the initial energy that I'm starting to put into the canvas. And hopefully, I don't know what the final image will be at this point. I think that's where I'll get my answers. But I'm going to trust the process, because that's what it's all about. It's trusting the process. It's the process itself that gifts you with enlightenment. It really is not about what you create. It's about who you become while you're creating it. So I have 5 circles down the center. It's the beginning of oh my God, the name just left me. Okay, that's really funny. I'll look it up before I publish this. I want to say Metatron's Cube, but I don't think that's quite right. I'm having a middle-aged blurb in my brain. Anyway, I found it fascinating that 5 shows up. And in the Flower of Life, I don't know if you're familiar with the Flower of Life, it's similar. The circles all overlap and develop flowers. which is also, well, anyway, we're using circles. But in the Flower of Life, if you look at it, it's 5 circles up through the center and 5 circles on each side. And I was wishing today that I had a Flower of Life stencil, because to draw one does really take a lot of time, and it's very meticulous. It's almost an art unto itself. Okay, well, we've got most of our circles drawn. Now, when I try to use, well, I pretty much always use an angled brush when I'm drawing with paint. It just goes back to my calligraphy days. I studied calligraphy for quite a while. And I used to make a living doing that. Okay, close enough. I think what I'm trying to do here is achieve a balance between my left and right brain. My left brain just wants to break out the compass and the rulers and make everything very precise and aligned. And the fact that we're using geometrical shapes to set the foundation of this painting, I think is enough left brain. And I just wanted to go with it creatively. So we're just going to freehand this next part. And I'm not too worried about making the solid line. Parts of this will show through in the final layer, I'm sure. And some of it, most of it, won't. But it doesn't mean it won't still be here. Okay. Perhaps you're starting to see what I'm laying down here. I feel like I need to draw something through the center. I think I'm just going to go for it. There, that feels better. All right, now here comes the part where I think I'm going to switch brushes. I'll add a little bit of water to a line brush. And maybe put some other colors together here. Now what I wanted to bring into this, first of all, let's just write balance. I don't know if you can see. I hope I'm not blocking everything with my shawl. Maybe I am. There we go. I might have to do some editing after all. So balance. Growth. Expand. Focus would be really good. Can never go wrong with a little love. And how about some wings to fly with? Throw in some belief. And something really, really important as well, harmony. I don't know if I can write good internet service on here or not. It might just throw the nature of it off. Let's see. Universal. Support. How do we do that? Because green is the color of the heart chakra. I think we could radiate a little love into this. Courage. Could do with that. Peace. Beauty. Coherence. Truth. And I'm going to need my voice. And one last thing. Faith. Right across the board. Faith in everything, everyone. Okay, so we've got enough good intentions in there. This is the part where it really gets fun. This is the part where I play with paint. And anyone else would play with paint at this point as well. Even if you've never ever painted before, it doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, if you've never painted before, this might be better. You can get more out of it. So we're just going to take colors and we'll just dip into whatever color really stands out for you at the time. Did you know that colors themselves have their own vibration? Every color actually has a frequency of vibration. I'm just going to put some more spheres out here. And I think between the live, losing the internet, and now my paint's starting to dry a little bit. It's okay, there's plenty more. And then we're just going to play. Like definitely make swirls, make shapes, make movements. I like this green that's blending as I go along. Now I always add an element of water, which reminds me. You just can't have too much water. Well, you can actually, but to start off with, it's fun. And where was I? Water. My own personal element is water. And I love it. I want to live near water, live on water, play in water. My favorite meditation is when I become water. And I'm just swirling again. I have got I don't know if you can see it. It's an angled brush, and I'm not cleaning the brush in between colors. I'm using the canvas to dry the paint off the brush, and then I'll just dip in, or sometimes I blend as I go. And I think I'm going to actually paint in some of these spheres. Welcome them into the colorful landscape. Might be an excellent time to talk about how a canvas really is a beautiful metaphor for your life. I've been noticing a lot lately about how that works. Every day you start off with a fresh canvas, and what you put on it is completely up to you. You truly are the artist. I know sometimes it feels like you're not your own life's artist because circumstances go on, things happen. But really, how we respond to those things is completely up to us. There's always a little teeny space and time when anything happens to us, good, bad, or indifferent, big, small. There's when it actually happens, to the time that we respond to it is a very small space of time. And in that space is where you decide how you're going to respond. And even our smallest responses to what we might think is meaningless affects our life. One small stroke like this. Now that's very cool. I love the way that moves through the canvas. I might make that greater. But you take a small stroke and it could affect, that might end up on the final layer. You may end up seeing that. But it's definitely the energy of that stroke is now a part of this painting. And really, I just love moving paint around. Especially at this point, I could just blend any color I want together. Now, I don't have any red on my palette at the moment. That's okay. Well, that's nice. I just might take some more waves. Cerulean blue and deep violet. All right. This is a good time to maybe start painting on the sides of your canvas if you're joining me, or if you're ever in front of a canvas with some paint. I just want to fill in the centers. Now what's happening here is I've used complementary colors, yellow and purple. They are across from each other. On the color wheel, I'd get it out and show it to you, but it's behind the canvas right now. And when you add complementary colors together, you can make mud very easily. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with mud. You know, the lotus flower thrives on mud. Its roots go deep into the mud. And that is what feeds the gorgeous bloom that you see thriving above the water. Throw some more diamond shapes in here. I think I like the way the brush stroke is going. There are times in our life where things just seem very linear. Doesn't mean they are, but they do seem that way. Okay, I think when I get into this video, I am going to do a little editing. I'll probably just speed this part up. So I'm going to be quiet now and just play with paint. Well, I guess that's a wrap for now. We'll have to wait and let this layer dry before we continue on. Hopefully you'll be able to join me tomorrow night, Wednesday, February 25th, and it might be live. Fingers crossed. And we'll see what form comes out of this layer and what sort of message it brings. So I'll see you tomorrow night when we'll connect and then we'll create.